Apple's Vision Pro was arguably the most ambitious device of 2024. But even so, it kind of came and went and hasn't really left a lasting impact. But now, thanks in part to help from Google and Qualcomm, Samsung is ready to show off its next-gen headset and what the company is calling the foundations for the ultimate multimodal AI experience. So let's go check out the Galaxy XR. So this is the Galaxy XR. As you can see, it does look a lot like the Apple Vision Pro, except I think it's a bit sleeker and it's noticeably lighter. And that's actually pretty important because weight was one of the big issues with Apple's headsets. Now, before we get too deep in, I do have to say we're a bit light on specs so far, so I'm only gonna go over what we do know. And so this thing runs on Google's new Android XR platform, and it's meant to support eye tracking, hand tracking, and has a ton of sensors on the outside. And this is meant to be able to use without the need for controllers, although there are optional controllers if you do want to play games and stuff like that. And you can even pair it to a PC or with a wireless mouse and keyboard as well. Looking at the front, you have this big, basically a huge sensor area for tracking of all sorts. And then there's even more sensors down at the bottom. And then if we spin it around, you see this is the latch for the battery pack. And then I can just put it on super easily just by twisting the knob and back. There are some built-in touchpads on the side that you can use to control things on top of using voice commands and hand gestures as well. Now, we don't know how much RAM or storage this thing is going to have yet, but on the inside it is powered by Qualcomm's XR2 Plus Gen 2 chip. Now, as far as battery life, we've been given two numbers. For strictly video, we're looking at about 2.5 hours of runtime, but for more general use, it's a little bit shorter at just 2 hours. I do notice that there is a bit of light coming in from the outside. That said, Samsung says they will be providing light blockers in the box, so if you want that fully closed off immersive experience, you can get that as well. Now, if we flip it around, you'll see two big lenses right here, and we've been told that we're going to get 4K resolution per eye at up to 90 Hertz refresh rate. I think I would have ideally liked to see up to 120 Hertz, but I'll definitely take higher than 60 because every little bit of that refresh rate matters a lot when you're in a VR experience. If I flip it down bottom, you can see there are some built-in spatial audio speakers right here, and then here's the knob to adjust the headband right here. Super easy to use. Noticeably, I think one thing that Google and Samsung and everybody else has learned from the Vision Pro is that there's a really big forehead pad right here, and that helps to distribute the weight. So that I haven't worn this thing for prolonged periods of time just yet, but even just for a short demo, it felt really surprisingly comfortable. Now, as one of the first devices to use the new Android XR platform, this kind of combines a lot of what we are already familiar with basic Android, but it integrates a lot of new AI features. There's also going to be a heavy emphasis on voice control, notably Gemini, so you can ask Gemini to do all sorts of things. But the other thing that I think is really cool is that you can also just use this as a general purpose VR headset, either by connecting it to your PC and using something like the Steam Link app. You can connect it to Windows. It has a very broad scope of what it can do and what kind of devices that it can work with too. Oh, I do want to mention that Samsung will have some optional accessories for the Galaxy R, including stuff like this optional traveling case. Now, they won't let us open it up, so we don't know what's inside, but I imagine there's a bunch of padding to make sure to protect this very expensive headset. And here are the optional Bluetooth controllers. That said, if you don't want to use these, you can connect third-party options just to the headset itself, so you don't have to be obligated to buy Samsung's controllers. So we just got done with our demo, and unfortunately we weren't able to record footage directly off the headset itself, so let's do a quick recap of what I actually experienced. The first was just kind of getting the headset on. If you've used any of the big VR headsets like your Vision Pros or even your Quest 3s and stuff like that, the hand tracking is immediately familiar. You can kind of pinch to open up the Android XR home menu with your standard Android icons, and you can navigate around using your hands. And it was all very seamless, very responsive. Now, of course, the other aspect of this is Gemini. Because of the demo space, I wasn't able to kind of free flow talk to Gemini, which is what you'd normally do if you're at home. You don't have to use a wake word or anything, but because there was a lot of people in the space nearby, I was manually triggering Gemini every once in a while to ask questions directly. Now, the first experience I saw was in Google Photos, and you can just scroll through all your photos like normal, But what's really cool is that if you hit immersive, there is a process where the Android XR platform, with some help from the cloud, will turn your standard 2D images into 3D immersive spatial photo. The next thing I did was look at, Google Maps, but in XR or in VR. Can you take me to Taipei? Oh, all right, cool. Kind of presented with a big globe of the Earth, and you can either ask Gemini to, hey, take me to a certain place, or you can kind of navigate around using hand gestures. And it was all very simple, very intuitive, but there is an extra level to that, because if you go to somewhere like New York, sometimes you'll see bubbles over certain restaurants or locations, and you can just touch that, zoom right in there. And what the Android XR platform is doing is it's taking 2D images, taken by users who use Google Maps, and is creating it into a virtual spatial representation of the inside of what I experienced was a restaurant. So I could walk around in between tables. You can also use your hand gestures to move around, and you can get a layout of the inside of buildings without ever being there. And then the last part is I got to check out the YouTube experience in Android XR. Of course, you get all your standard YouTube videos, and they show up in a virtual window, which is very nice. But there's also a new section in YouTube just for spatial videos. You can click a little headset icon. There's already a ton of 360 and spatial videos on YouTube, but if you're looking at it on a flat screen, it just doesn't have the same effect. You do need kind of that headset experience to get that full immersion. And I got a brief demo of a new auto spatialization feature. It's not available at launch, but Google says they're working on it soon. No timetable exactly for that yet. But it will take your standard 2D videos and kind of add an extra layer of depth effect. It's not true 3D, but it just adds another layer and more depth for you to look at in the thing. And really, we're just scratching the surface of what the Android XR platform can do. I saw some demos of people playing standard apps and games from the Play Store, like Stardew Valley. Man, I would love to play Stardew Valley in a huge virtual, 100-inch window. You can do city skyline. Just thinking about having a huge map and you feel like God kind of looking down on your little city, that's really awesome. And even more than that, there is the capability to connect the headset to your gaming PC via Steam Link or some other connection software, and you can connect, your wireless keyboard, your wireless mice. And so it really feels like between Android XR and kind of the more open nature of the Android XR platform, there's a much bigger and much wider ecosystem of devices and apps and media that you can really play with in this new Galaxy XR headset. And I gotta say, even just the basic optical quality, the displays look super sharp, and I think they're actually even a little bit sharper than what I've seen before in the Vision Pro. So just on a hardware level, that's really, really nice. Now here's the big kicker. The Galaxy XR is going to cost $1799. That's half the price of the Vision Pro. That alone right there is a huge milestone, because if we want people to experience headsets like this and for headsets to become more of a mainstream product, companies have to lower that barrier of entry. And we're not gonna have to wait very long for this headset to arrive, because it's coming out on October 21st. And Google is working with Samsung to really sweeten the pot in terms of what you get when you get a new Galaxy XR headset. For $1799, the headset is also going to come with what they're calling an Explorer Pack, which comes with a huge bundle of subscriptions that you're going to get for free with the Galaxy XR. I was actually laughing when they told us this in the presentation in the beginning, because it is a huge boatload of stuff. So let me get this straight. It's going to come with 12 months of Google AI Pro for free. That's cool. You kind of get that with new Pixels, but it's a good start. You also get 3 months of YouTube TV for $1 a month, which is normally $80, so that's a pretty big savings right there. You will also get a free year of YouTube Premium, which includes YouTube Music. And buyers will also get a free season of NBA League Pass, and you'll also get 12 months of a Google Play Pass subscription. Now, I haven't done the math on what that would cost to buy in a year, but that is a pretty big enticement to, hey, here's a new headset and here's a ton of content that you can experience on that headset. That has been one of the big issues with VR headsets in the past, is that there's this great tech and great hardware to use, but you're sitting home and what do I do with it? So they're trying to make sure that not only do you have tons of media, tons of movies, tons of things to look at, there's just lots of content. And that's not even talking about some of the changes that they're going to make to the Play Store to make dedicated XR apps for this new headset. Vision Pro may have not had a lasting impact per se, but I think it definitely kickstarted some of its rivals most notably Samsung and Google and Qualcomm, to really join forces and to create a really interesting alternative to last year's Vision Pro. This is a really exciting launch of a new headset and a new platform in Android XR as well. So for more on that, stay tuned to Engadget, because we're going to be trying to do a deep dive into as much new Android XR and Galaxy XR content as we can.